name's Jess. I'm one of the GP ST3s in the Southwest Deanery, and this is my second video for Menlo Park. I hope you've been enjoying watching the videos so far. I think there's been some really interesting topics covered and thoughts and experiences shared. In my last vlog, I mentioned one of the things I really appreciated about general practice training was the flexibility that I've experienced, and I thought I'd just tell you a little bit more about my experience with that today. So in the middle of ST2, I had my first baby. And that was actually right at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, and I took a year out of training for maternity leave. And when I was thinking about returning to work, there was a couple of things that I was quite anxious about. Things included what would my childcare arrangements look like, what would my working week look like, how much time would I be spending at home versus at work, and what would kind of be the expectations of me as a trainee. This is my first GP job. I wasn't sure what they'd be expecting of me, and I wasn't sure what to expect of them, especially in the middle of a pandemic where I knew that a lot had changed. But my experience of returning to work was actually overwhelmingly positive. I found the GP training team were incredibly supportive. I'd made a decision to go less than full-time at 80%, and this worked really well for me. The practice that I was going into allowed me just to choose what hours I worked in the week to fit around my childcare arrangements, and that was really helpful. And I also found that returning to work, I was eased back in really nicely. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I felt very supported. I felt like I could go at my own pace. For example, I started at much longer appointment times, and I shortened those down as I felt more comfortable. And I felt that experience of flexibility and the support also transferred into my ST3 GP job as well. I feel like my training has been very much tailored to my own needs, and I've been able to go at the pace that I feel comfortable. I also feel like that flexibility has continued. My childcare arrangements unexpectedly changed, and I was able to quickly adjust my working week according to that, which was really helpful for me. I also found that I was able to take a bit of time off at short notice to support my wife, who was also going through fertility treatment at the time for our second child, who's due soon, and that was also great. And I just think that the experience I've had so far, I don't think I would have had in a different specialty training job. I think from my experience of working in secondary care, you're often given a rota that you need to follow with quite irregular shift patterns, lots of on-calls and out-of-hours shifts, and I feel that that would have been quite a struggle for me to make it work for my own life. And I feel that generally my experience of the flexibility and supportiveness has just made my return to work so much more enjoyable. And made my experience so much better in reducing just overall stress and then really promoting a healthy work-life balance. So I think what I would like to encourage people, or anyone that's considering general practice as a possible career, is that, you know, if your career and family life is really important to you, then general practice is an excellent option, as I feel like it's just given me that flexibility to make it work. And work in a really good way that kind of promotes good mental health, reduced stress and work-life balance, as I mentioned. So that's it for me, but remember to follow Menlo Park on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and the YouTube videos to keep up to date with the videos that are due to be coming.